we go.
So you want me to talk? You want me to tell you my problems? Well, I can tell you this. I had a dream once of a place that I could go. A place that I could just, relax. I had a dream once of a place that I could listen. A place that I could just relax. In this place, there were these guys who seemed to know what they were talking about, and then not so much. But it made me feel good. It made me feel good. What? You don't know? Oh. It's the Joel and Randy show. Oh, you bitches, you hoes. It's the Joel and Randy show.
Joel and Randy's Texas Tea, brought to you by All Tea, All Shade. Made in Texas for your enjoyment.
Ooh, girl. It's hot as hell outside. We're in Texas.
We're in Texas.
And I'd rather be in Guam. Because I bet it's nice and cool in Guam.
I'd rather be in Fiji with open beaches, light blue water.
Oh, that sounds nice.
For while it lasts. Thank you, global warming.
At least with light blue water, you can see the shark coming.
Yeah, exactly.
And just
exactly.
run.
Exactly.
Tread water, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
About to get eaten.
Tread some water.
Tread water.
Eating is the name of this show, because we're about to do some eating.
We about to eat what?
We about to eat, girl.
I'm not eating nothing, girl.
So we're gonna
enough.
eat something young and fresh.
Oh no, we certainly are not.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
All are welcome. All are welcome.
I'm Joel Tatum.
I'm Randy, and you know what? Y'all don't need to know any more than that.
And by this
Nosy
time,
bitches.
if you are still trying to find out who Randy is, it's too late for that. You should have tried to find that out by episode 10.
It's too late. And it doesn't matter. We're all people,
We're
right?
all people. We're all people.
Mm-hmm. People who need people.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of people, I have some notes. I took some notes about people.
Did you take notes about people?
I did. I'm always taking
This segment
notes
of the
about
show
people.
of notes about people is brought to you by Randy.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Well, this note is about Terry Crews, who
Mm-hmm.
spoke in front of Congress
Mm-hmm.
and we've spoken before about how men should come out and talk about what happens to them. And you know what happened behind him talking?
Mm-hmm.
50 Cent, the rapper, made fun of him
Mm-hmm.
for doing so.
Mm-hmm.
Said that he would have whooped that guy's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of letting him rape him in front of his wife. Now, see,
Okay,
that's
first
the
of
reason
all-
men. See, that's why men are reticent to come out and talk about it.
Well, here's the thing. 50 Cent didn't even know the story. You automatically went to raping in front of his wife. That is not what happened.
That's
That is
not
what happened.
He groped him at a party. His wife was there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that she witnessed it,
Mm-mm.
but he was groped. It took seconds, but Terry Crews knew what it meant.
Mhm.
That man was trying to claim him and let him know, I have the power, I'm a producer, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
It may not have even been sexual in nature.
Mhm.
It was just a little reminder of who's in power.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And the same thing happened to Brendan Fraser, and Brendan Fraser hadn't been seen on TV for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or movies for 10 years
Mhm.
after that. because it scared him. You know, the idea, obviously, it
of who has the power when
Yeah.
it comes to
And-
working with your boss.
Mhm.
And that, pray tell, is something that we have talked about over and over and over again.
Over and over again.
Over
Guys,
and over
don't
again.
don't not say anything
Mm-hmm.
behind this crap, because you've got to stand strong and
Mhm.
tell your truth and own it. So
Mhm.
enough serious stuff about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh Lord. And let's see. Girl Cher has a musical coming out of her life, which
Mhm.
should be interesting because she's led an interesting life.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to the show recently in Chicago to watch them rehearse,
Mhm.
and she gave them notes, and she said, "Sure heard it." That's my best Cher. She said, "Sure heard it."
Mm-hmm.
She sure hated it. Not good enough. And good for her,
Well,
She
if
was-
you're going to do share, bitch, you better do it right.
Yeah, and they said that they appreciated her commentary and her notes, her critique.
Mhm.
And she sat at a table. She keeps it real, honey. She
Mhm.
sat at a table with the actors.
Mhm.
She didn't say all this behind their back, go on social media or
Mhm.
anything. She was right there with the director
Mhm.
and the producer, and they all sat with the actors, and she did her critique,
Mhm.
which I thought was healthy, and all the actors really appreciated it
Mhm.
and really respected her for it.
Mm-hmm.
So good for you, Cher.
Mm-hmm.
Although I have to tell you, Cher, I don't believe you, and I hope you listen to this show. I love you awful. And don't get mad, girl, because I know how you get mad.
Mm-hmm.
But, girl, you never saw Greg Allman do any cocaine? Really? You didn't know your husband was on cocaine? As I've heard in the past, you said, really? Okay, I'll let it go because it's none of my damn business. That was a long time ago. But Cher, that's the only thing I have to say about that sort of disparaging, because I have nothing else to say other than good stuff because I love you.
Mm-hmm.
But girl, how you not gonna know a man's on cocaine up in your house? All I'm saying.
Exactly. And you're married to him too? Come on.
Mhm.
You knew.
Come on, girl.
Mhm.
And I don't believe she's ever taken a drink.
Mm-hmm.
A drink.
Mm-hmm.
Because of her situation that she had spoken about how her mother was when she was a kid.
Mhm.
She never said her mother was a violent alcoholic or anything like that, but she said that her mother, used to go out partying and stuff like that, and she found it mother-like, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm paraphrasing. It's been years since
Mm-hmm.
I've read these particular stories.
Mm-hmm.
And Cher's a very quiet person.
Yes,
She really
of course.
doesn't- She's private.
Of course. She
Unless-
does have a few things.
Unless she's tweeting something
Mm-hmm. She
about
does.
the president.
Yeah, exactly. She does have a few things to say, but when it comes to her own personal life,
She's kind of quiet.
she's kind of quiet, and that's actually not a bad thing.
No, that's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
Other people should
Mhm.
learn how to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mentioning any
Mhm.
names.
I think the phrase that we used the last time was sometimes people just need to mind their own business.
They do.
They just need to mind their own business, and you go on ahead and do what
Stay
you
in your lane, girl.
Stay in
Don't
your
step
lane.
on anybody's dresses if you can help it,
Mhm.
honey. You might
Mhm.
accidentally rip a hem.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we decided to forego the Texas tea. We're having actually a fine glass of very nice red wine.
We are having a fabulous red wine
We have a-
from H-E-B. It's a fine vintage. 2018
What kind of red?
was a very good year.
What kind of red wine are we drinking?
This is Merlot.
Oh, we're drinking a Merlot. Oh, girl, this show has gone downhill already.
I like a Merlot, but I don't have the most distinctive.
I was
Palate.
one of those bitches who watched Sideways, and if any of you bitches have ever watched that movie,
Oh, I didn't see that.
If
And
it-
that's one of my favorite
Mhm.
actresses is in that.
Mm-hmm. And the line about Merlot is amazing. I don't care what we drink in this goddamn restaurant, but we are not drinking a goddamn Merlot. That
When
is
I
not
go out to
verbatim.
restaurants,
Mhm.
I usually drink Pinot Noir
Mm-hmm.
or a Cabernet.
Mm-hmm.
But I save all my trashy behavior for home.
Mm-hmm. I
And
like.
so I'm drinking a Merlot.
Mm-hmm. Because we're.
And I don't know why you are hating on Merlot.
Oh, I've always hated
But
on
Merlot must be one of those bastard wines like White Zinfandel.
Mhm.
They just made it so it would be
Mhm.
tasteful to everybody else.
It's like they said, hey, we have these leftover grapes. We don't know what we're going to do with it. So let's just make it into something we call a Merlot.
Now, see,
to
I'm
make
almost,
it sound to make it
and
sound
you know what? I
fancy.
had a joke, and I
Mhm.
almost said it.
Mhm.
But we're going to talk about this today. We're going to have a discussion about this right now.
Okay.
Now.
Now.
And you know I'm serious, girl, when I say now.
Mhm.
I'm tired of all these damn trolls fucking with people and ruining lives and shit
Mhm.
behind a comment that somebody made, which, don't get me wrong, some comments are more powerful and disturbing than
Mhm.
others,
Yes, that is true.
and some actions are very disturbing. I don't know what the hell these people
Mhm.
are thinking. And you know I'm talking about you, Permit Patty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the hell these people are thinking. You are filmed everywhere you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything you say can and will be recorded.
Mhm.
I'm recorded right now,
Mhm.
and that's why I didn't tell the joke I was about to tell behind the bastard wine thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can talk about bastard wines, but you better not talk about bastard nothing else.
Yeah, exactly. You better
So I
not.
shut my mouth, girl. I shut my mouth because
Mhm.
I don't want to be on the news tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to have a nickname.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
What was that other one? Barbecue Becky.
the barbecue
Becky's
Becky.
my
I
favorite.
love barbecue Becky.
Barbecue Becky's my
barbecue
favorite.
Becky.
This bitch.
Whoever came up with that name on Twitter,
This
bitch, I love you. Thank you for
I
that.
love you, Barbecue Becky. You are wrong, and you know you're wrong.
Mhm.
Why can't you just keep walking? Your fat ass needed to walk anyway.
Exactly.
Why couldn't you just keep fucking walking,
Mhm.
turning around,
Mhm.
and asking somebody or telling somebody, you can't barbecue out here.
Mhm.
It's not legal.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, girl, why don't you mind your own motherfucking business?
Mhm. Stay in your lane. When
Stay in your
you
lane.
stay in your
But
lane.
you know what? I'll give. Listen, she's not all the way racist.
Mm-hmm.
Because racist white women
Mm-hmm.
don't talk to black men. They're
Mhm.
scared of them.
Mm-hmm.
They are. They're scared to death of it. This bitch, she wasn't scared of nobody or nothing.
Mhm.
She just, do you know that that's against the law, what you're doing right now? It's like, bitch, mind your own damn business and let those men alone.
Mhm.
She wasn't scared.
Mm-mm. And
And then she got on the phone and called 911 behind this shit. And then they should have took her to jail
mm-hmm.
for calling 911 for some bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't call. Let me tell you something.
Ain't nobody got time
And-
to investigate what you're doing, Barbecue Becky.
Mm-hmm. The thing is that I love what Randy had to say earlier about racist white women
It's true.
because it's funny and it's slightly true. But these bold racist ass white women, Barbecue Becky, stop doing that. Stay in your lane, girl. Stay in your lane.
You might get cut.
because you just got cut, girl. You got
You
cut.
might get cut.
No,
She's
didn't.
already got cut.
She
She got cut worse.
She got cut
She
worse.
probably lost her job behind this.
Mhm.
You know what?
Mhm.
There are repercussions that you just don't even
Mhm.
foresee, I
Mhm.
suppose, when you're that damn stupid. Because
Mhm.
you got to be some kind of ass stupid
Mhm.
not to know. Because she knew she was being filmed, and then she kept going
Yeah, and she kept right on going.
with her ridiculous rhetoric.
Mhm.
It's just, girl, shut up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You're making a fool out of yourself, Clary.
Mm-hmm. And see, here's the thing, and this is why I say that there is. I was talking to Randy before the show, and we were discussing a little bit about the generational gap
Mhm.
and the fact that most of the people who seem to get caught on social media saying or doing stupid stuff are people who were not used to social media.
Yeah,
And-
let's see. I guess those women were both approaching 40.
Mm-hmm. So they were not used to having social media constantly in your
Look,
lives.
I don't understand, Joel, in the
Mhm.
climate that we're in right now. We've been in this social media climate
For almost 15
for
years.
almost 15 years.
15, 20
and
years
It's
now.
only getting stronger.
Yeah, exactly.
We're scrutinized. Everything
Yeah,
we do.
exactly.
I always say, girl, I don't dare scratch my ass walking down the street because guess what? I'm being filmed.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. You know,
Google World films me. I bet if we went to Google World right now, you could see an image of me because I take the same path every day, which is very dangerous, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You should never do that, but girl, I don't have a choice. Anyway, girl, I'm not walking any farther than I already do. I have arthritis, so don't mess with me. Anyway, so I walk down the same road, the same sidewalk every day at the same time. I am a creature of habit.
Yes.
After Judge Judy, I take my shower, I get dressed, and I walk down the street. It's 4:45, and there you'll find me. So you're always on film somewhere, Google World, anything. So you have to be careful what you do and what you say. And this show is, if I'm using the word right, predicated on what we say.
Yeah, exactly.
So I got to be careful because I'm a big mouth bitch, and sometimes I say things that are inappropriate.
There was a moment. I was on the bus yesterday. I was on the bus going to pick up my check, and there was a moment where I wanted to use my phone because I saw something that was so amazingly funny that I went, I need to film this right now and send it on Facebook. But then when I thought about the person who was doing it,
right,
I said, no, I can't do that because she was doing what she was doing.
Right.
And I didn't want to be the cause of any further embarrassment.
Right.
But it was funny. It was, okay, let me describe this moment because, once again, we're not in that situation. We're on a podcast, so we're not in that situation.
Right.
Here I am sitting on the bus. I'm on my phone. I'm playing a little game. I'm looking up. This little old woman with her walker gets on the bus. And she goes to tap the little metro thing. She takes a titty and puts it up to the, yes ma'am. She takes a titty and puts it, and this woman's titty was like down, like weighed.
Oh, Lord.
This is a woman who maybe in her younger days was a full-breasted woman, but now in her older days her breasts are like down to her knees kind of thing. Took up her little breast and put it up to the thing, and it went green. Then she took her little walker and she sat down, and I laughed so hard. And I thought at that moment, I would love to have taken a little film of that and put it on my Facebook to show my friends because
it could have gone viral, and her grandchildren could have seen it and then showed it to her, and it could have been so humiliating.
Yeah, exactly.
That it could have ruined the best days of her life.
And I thought to and that was the moment. That was the moment that I realized the power of what we have in our hands. I have a very powerful instrument in my hand that can show life's weirdness or what have you.
Well, think about that woman who tried to sue YouTube behind a video that was taken of her. She was on her cell phone, bless her heart. She was texting, and she was in the mall, and she walked and hit the wall of a fountain and fell off into the fountain. Do you know that poor woman has suffered ever since then with all kinds of upset, behind it, embarrassment, people at work, people on the street stop her.
Yeah, exactly.
And she tried to sue YouTube behind it, but you can't.
You can't do it.
There's no regulatory control.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing is
if there were, I don't know that we would want that anyway, because that's controlling free speech. That goes under the heading of free speech.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's trapped forever. I think they took it down though.
Yeah.
Because she expressed how much heartache it caused her.
Yeah, exactly. See, they did it out of the kindness of their heart. They didn't
have to.
They didn't actually have to.
No, they didn't have to.
But I have seen memes pop up. I saw one of the funniest memes, and one of the memes that made me go, this poor girl. This poor girl is asleep on this little weird-looking couch, and she's asleep. And someone took a picture of her without her knowledge while she's asleep, and it suddenly became a viral internet meme. And she was just asleep. She was tired. She was taking a little.
Say?
I don't remember. It's a meme from it's old now. It's almost a year. Or so. Memes you know, if you know what a meme is, these are just little pictures of people doing stuff, and then they have with a caption underneath.
A clever, hopefully clever.
Yeah,
caption.
and it's usually clever, and some of them are quite funny. But when you think about the girl who was innocently asleep on and it was a funny looking couch. I can't remember the couch, but it was a funny looking couch. When you think of the girl who was asleep on that, innocently asleep, and someone took a picture of her and turned it into a meme, and now everywhere she goes, people are like, "Oh, I saw you," blah 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 blah. And
she's not getting any benefit.
And she's not getting any benefit
other than worry.
Other than the fact that every time she walks down the street, every time
somebody worries her ass.
Yeah, exactly. And thankfully enough, because this is how I've learned how social media works. Mm-hmm. Thankfully enough, it was only funny for about a month, and then it was gone.
And then it went away. Well, it goes away, but it never goes away. Mm-hmm. But it goes away.
But
you know what I mean?
But it is an imprint.
Or you know what I mean?
It is an
that line. Oh, that's gonna go away. I hope that goes away. Anyway,
but that is an imprint on the internet that's forever. Forever. Because she was innocently sleeping, and that's what got me to thinking.
Well, think about that girl at the royal wedding,
mm-hmm.
and she was Prince Harry's girlfriend for 6 years. I think was it 6 years?
Oh, I have no idea.
They were together for a long time, girl. Anyway, they took a picture of her at the wedding and captioned the meme, what it looks like to think it could have been me, or something like that. Mm-hmm. And that poor girl, I felt so sorry for her. She was victimized by that, in my opinion. She, however, has never said a word about it. But she's also English, and those girls, they don't talk much.
They keep their emotions inside.
They do. They keep them in check.
They drink a lot, but they keep their emotions.
Ooh, girl, you gonna pay for that? Speaking of social media,
yes, exactly.
Out tonight. I don't know though. See, I feel today. I feel because of all the stuff that I've seen lately, Barbecue Becky's dumbass, Peppermint Patty done lost her job, child.
She was a CEO of a company, girl. That bitch was a CEO of a company.
She quit her job behind this, and the company says that they didn't have anything to do with it. Bitch. Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
That's their official story, and she's sticking to it so she can get some kind of money. I'm sure they gave her a package,
a nice severance package,
a nice package,
and she probably still has. She's a CEO. She has stock in the company. She's fine.
But what kind of anger? What she was dealing with some kind of demons that day, and you listen. Okay, fine. She's a little girl, and we don't know because she said that she could hear her from her window. Bet she was probably like a carnival barker going, "Water, get your water here," and aggravating this bitch. And this bitch, obviously, she had a hard day, and she went downstairs and said, "I'm going to call 911 if y'all don't stop this." I always almost put a southern accent on these people. I don't know why, but I'm gonna call 911 if you don't stop this. And her mama said, "Bitch, call 911." And she did. And then she tried to hide. Why are you hiding? You knew you were filmed when you said. The woman had her phone like this filming you when you said, "I'm going to call 911," and then you're going to hide. Don't hide.
Well, according to some of the stuff that I read, she actually said, "Well, I wasn't really calling 911. I was pretending to." But you still ended up on camera,
and that doesn't make a hill beans of a difference because you're still.
I'm sorry that
not minding your own damn business. You could have shut your damn window. If it's so damn hot, turn the damn air conditioner on. We're not on Little House on the Prairie, girl. I know you got air conditioning in your building.
And see, like I said,
you didn't have to have your window open. That was a choice.
And like I said, this is what I think is why the generational gap when it comes to social media is hurting us because we're older.
Because we're old and stupid.
Because
because I'm not have the stupidest Peppermint Patty.
No,
or Permit Patty.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Barbecue Becky.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact of the matter is that these are people who are of a certain age who don't understand how social media has but like I said, it's been 15 years. You should understand. You should know that. You should
exactly.
But the funny thing that gets me is the fact that when I talk to people my own age and they don't know how to use their own phones. They don't know how to use this. I'm like, bitch, you work. I know where you work. You use a computer.
She's talking to me.
You use a
I don't
computer.
use
No. I'm not talking to you. I'm not
no,
talking
I'm
to
one
you.
of those bitches who can barely use his phone.
That's fine, but at least you're trying. When I talk to people of a certain age who come up with all the excuses on why they don't, I don't use a computer and I don't use this and that, blah 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 blah. But you're aware of it.
Oh, you have to be aware of it.
You are aware. You have to be aware of it. You have to be educated about how you use.
And we're just
your devices.
We're just going to see more of these people making fools out of themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? That woman. Here's another example.
Mm-hmm.
And these aren't fun examples. They're scary examples
Mm-hmm.
of what can happen. You know that woman who lost it on that man on the Uber when Uber first came out, and she was hitting him, slapping him and shit, and then he threw her drunk ass out of the car, and then she fell on the ground and she started saying some bullshit. I can't remember. Girl, it was almost 20 years ago. She lost her medical license. Her medical license, girl.
And she was probably
she was a resident at a hospital, and they said goodbye. And then Florida said, we're pulling your license. And here's something. Given the fact that so many people make fools out of themselves on almost a daily basis, do you think that they should lose their livelihoods? Do you think that they should be vilified for the rest of their Permit Patty and Barbecue Becky? They can't go anywhere anymore. Nowhere. It's done. It's over. You're toast. You're in your 30s.
Hopefully.
And both these bitches
At
are not
least.
cute. It's not like they can marry a rich man. I don't mean no harm. And I certainly hope I don't get put on the Trolls Most Wanted list behind saying this. But neither one of those bitches were cute either. Let's face it, honey. It's not like they can marry rich men and get over themselves. These bitches have to work for a living. Ain't nobody paying for shit for neither one of them.
Well, I honestly, I think that the fact that you can recover from this, you can recover from this.
Ooh, it takes a long time.
But it takes
though.
a long time. Once all this,
especially if your license as a doctor is pulled.
well, with
Your
barbecue,
medical license.
with Barbecue Betty and Peppermint Patty, I love these cute names. I love these cute
Permit
names.
Patty, but I can't help myself.
I love
It's more fun to say
Peppermint Patty. It really
I wish there
is
was
fun.
a peppermint involved.
I really wish there was, but
I wish the woman had thrown a peppermint at
yeah,
her,
exactly.
and then we could call her Peppermint Permit Patty.
But those things will
And
be.
she had a little football hair.
I really do think that it depends on what the situation is. Like I said, the sleeping girl on her couch, that was over within a month, and she was able to go back to living her life again.
Yeah, but she didn't
But
lose
when
any license and shit.
But
her
when you
job
do
and
something that is so
egregious,
when you do something
Look
that's
at me
so
using big
egregious,
words.
and you can't recover from that.
No,
You
but I
can't-
think you should.
Mhm.
I believe in a second chance,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you should be able. Like these women clearly made poor judgment decisions, and I don't think that Permit Patty was based on racism at all. I think it was based on her being aggravated. I think it was based on the fact that her mother was so defensive of her actions. And her mother was pimping her out. In Permit Patty's eyes, her mother was using her to make money. You know what I'm saying? She came to all kinds of conclusions. But the last thing this was racist.
Here's what I'm going to say to you.
Although Barbecue Betty,
Barbecue
you
Betty.
can't get out of racism, honey. You just all racist and shit.
Barbecue Betty. I don't have any advice for you.
I can't help you, Betty.
Actually,
Becky.
Actually, I do have a little bit of advice for her, but let's talk about Permit Patty for a second.
Okay.
Permit Patty, you had a bad day.
That's all it was. She had a bad day.
You had a bad day, and you unleashed
on this
a
little
little
girl.
girl. Which, here's how you recover from that. And you can get your life back if you recover from this. You are now going to take what you have, and now you're going to mentor little girls on how to be business people in the future. That's what you're going to do.
What organization
That-
did she work for? An organization.
Mhm.
It wasn't like a
Mhm.
big business.
Mhm.
It was some sort of like almost wasn't it? I want to say it was. And y'all forgive me for not getting my facts right, but bitch, I don't do that. I just tell the blurbs.
Mhm.
The blurbs is all I got. So.
But I would tell Permit Patty. And by the way, for all of you who don't know this happened in what is considered one of the most liberal cities on the planet.
Was
which
it
is-
San Francisco?
It was San Francisco.
Yeah, I'd heard that she worked for a
it was
company
San
in San
Francisco.
Francisco, and I
So
think it
this
was a charitable organization of some
So
sort.
this what happened in one of the most liberal cities in
Girl,
the
I love
country.
San Francisco, honey.
Yes, it is. It is the gay mecca, but it happened in one
But
of the
you better
most.
be rich to take up residence
Yeah,
in
exactly.
San Francisco, bitch.
So this happened in one of the most liberal cities
Mhm.
in the country, which made that city look foolish, look so foolish. But it also opened up.
because she worked for a. I wish we could look it up.
Mhm. But it also opened up the fact that San Francisco obviously has issues when most people can't afford to live there. You
can't afford to
you
live
can't
in
afford
town.
to live in town. You
In the
can't.
city?
You've pushed out
Shit.
all your poor to eat further and further out.
Oh yeah, they're out by the airport.
Yeah, exactly.
girl.
Or they're homeless in.
Oh, the
San-
homeless are,
Mhm.
but don't they pay the homeless out there like they do in?
Mm-mm.
They do pay the homeless in Seattle.
Mhm.
Don't they pay the homeless?
You know,
out there?
Dallas has an amazing.
Alaska pays them
Mhm.
too.
You know,
And
Dallas has an
in
amazing.
Hawaii, girl.
Dallas, Texas has an amazing thing that they have going on, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But
No,
the,
Joe, we're not talking about like poisoning the homeless. Or
no,
anything like that,
we're
are
not.
we?
No, Dallas has an
I
amazing.
hope not. We don't want to do that.
Dallas has an amazing plan for the homeless in their city. Their plan is the fact that they will pay them $10 an hour
Ooh.
to pick up trash all over the city.
They're not going to do that. Well, no, I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but we need to get real. These people are mentally disabled or
Or they're vets.
on drugs.
Or they're vets.
Or they're vets, and bless their hearts, they're missing limbs and
Mhm,
shit.
mhm.
So, first of all, what we need to do is here's how we can fix. Here's the solution.
Mm-hmm.
We need to figure out who's who in this scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only way to do that is to get them together.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be hard. It's going to take some taxpayer money.
Yeah.
But we need to get together who's actually in need and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
Because I see the who's not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the people who are actually in need of
Mhm.
mental care,
Mhm.
of health care,
Mhm.
so they can get to work, so they can get jobs. And these vets, no vet
should be out on the
ever
street.
be out on the street.
No, and that's
period.
what really gets me. No vet
from
should,
any war
should
I don't
ever
give a damn.
be out on the street.
I don't
This
give a damn
really
where they
gets-
fought. They fought for this country, and they deserve to be treated as such. They deserve to be treated
Because
as heroes.
Because let me tell you something. Randy said this not too long ago on a couple of episodes ago, where he said these young people are going to line up all these old
They're
people.
gonna line us all up,
Line us
girl,
all up and
just
start shooting
kill
us. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. We got a lot of vets out on the street. A lot of vets. You think they won't do the same thing? We have got to take better care of our veterans.
We do.
We do. And I'm talking about from all the wars, not
All the war, exactly
All
like I
the
just
war.
said. Every damn war. And if he's still alive from World War motherfucking 2,
Mhm.
he better have a roof over his
Mhm.
head and 3 squares a day, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. We have
Because that's ridiculous.
it has become ridiculous when I and like I said, I use public transportation
hmm
for
As do I. We both believe in the environment.
Okay,
Well, we do.
I love that.
We love the
I
environment.
love the convenience of not being. Here's the thing, I love the environment, but let's face it,
That's not why I don't drive. I
That's
don't drive
not-
because I can't afford a core.
I don't drive because I have a lot of nervous issues. When I tried driving for 3 years, I finally got my license when I turned 40. 40.
Mm-hmm.
because I said I am going to drive. I have a legal driver's license,
Oh, so do I.
but driving was so nerve-wracking for me. It put me into panic attacks
Oh no, you can't have
every
that.
time I drove that I couldn't do it anymore. I
Mhm.
literally couldn't do it anymore. So I went back to using public transportation. Now, drives in the country, I can do drives in the country. I can do drives.
I
If
like
it's
a
a
nice-
long drive,
I like a
can
nice
do,
drive
I
in the
love a
country.
long drive. I love a long drive. But driving in the city of Houston, oh
See,
my
what you
God.
have to do, I drive all the time,
Mhm.
but I house sit for
Mhm.
friends and family,
Mhm.
and so that's why I drive. And I enjoy driving.
Mhm.
I just frankly can't afford a car,
Mhm.
and that's just the truth of it. And I ain't ashamed.
Mhm. And I'm not.
I take a lot of Ubers, and I take a lot of bus. Well, I take more Ubers than buses because
Mhm.
I live in what I consider a very small town.
Mhm.
In my area, everything is within reach. I've got a barber shop, a hair
Mhm.
salon, my job, grocery store.
Are you talking about where you
Where I
live?
live.
Where you live currently?
Yeah.
Because I also live
Yeah.
in a neighborhood where I can get to everything. I can walk to literally any place. I live in
Well,
Montrose.
he can walk better than I can because I have
Mhm.
arthritis, so he walks like a person.
Mhm.
Girl, it would take me 10 years to get to that
Mhm.
age.
I'm a big fan of walking. I love walking.
And that's a nice
I
walk,
do.
too.
It is a nice walk.
It's very it's very urban.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of the, that's the nice thing about Houston.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't live in Houston, Houston is a very urban, what I call an urban suburban city because
Mhm.
we have a lot of trees that we've saved
Mm-hmm.
for hundreds of years that
Mhm.
have lived here. Girl, these trees have been here a long
Mhm.
time, girl.
Yeah.
And we try to hold on to our trees whenever we can. Now, historical buildings,
Goodbye.
bye, bitch.
Bye, bitch.
And that's a shame.
Oh, that was
The
built in
tree.
1836.
Oh,
Tear
well,
it down.
It'll probably
I want
be
some
easier
high
to knock it
rises.
down
I
that
want
way.
some high
We
rises.
can
Yes.
repurpose those bricks in a condo
Yeah.
somewhere, girl. Take care of those bricks. 'Cause
Mhm.
we gonna repurpose those.
Yes. Well, that's the kind of
and
city.
Because can you imagine how much money people make off repurposed bricks
Mhm.
on those sites?
I know.
And who are these people making this money off these
Mhm.
repurposed?
And in the neighborhood that I live in, when you see these beautiful houses,
Mhm.
being torn down for these techie ass condos.
Ooh, and you got a couple of those cubist
Mm-hmm.
influences.
Yes, there's a
condos.
lot of Cubist influences.
I don't like
But
those.
I have always lived in an urban environment. So to me, Houston growing as an urban environment, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Suburban is my favorite,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Oh, the
But
suburbs.
urban is good.
Mhm. The suburbs are great if you are one of those couples who are going to have some kids.
Oh no, I like my suburban urban, like I call Houston suburban
Mhm.
urban, because I was in a part of town today,
Mm-hmm.
and girl, I tell you, I don't go anywhere. I
Mhm.
really don't. I went to the doctor today, and I
Mhm.
took the bus over there, and I went to Holly Hall,
Mm-hmm.
and that was a fun trip because
Mhm.
we went through West U and the medical center, and then I caught another bus in the
Mhm.
medical center at the transit center, and then Holly Hall. That area is so pretty and
Mhm.
it's so beautiful, and then boom, you're in the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
But that's Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun and scary all at
Mhm.
the same time.
Well, you know.
But there were lots of trees everywhere, girl, and
Mhm.
lots of retention ponds. It's like,
Mhm.
girl, how did Harvey happen?
Mhm.
These football field retention ponds all
Mhm.
over the damn place. But it did.
Mm-hmm. And you know, like I said, the one thing that I, when people ask me about Houston, I have a hard time describing Houston because Houston, to me, seems like an amalgamation of small towns, all in one big area.
Yeah.
Because they all have their own language.
Well, in
they
New
all
York,
have their.
in New York they call them boroughs,
Mhm.
and here in Houston we
We call
call
them
them
wards.
wards, which is so utilitarian. I
Well,
don't like
that's from the 1800s, that kind of stuff. So I understand that. That's just a natural part of Houston history.
it. Isn't that the word I was looking for? Utilitarian. 'Cause it's like, you
well,
know.
maybe it might have been at the time, but I don't think I think that they thought wards
not totalitarian.
at the time
I'm
felt
using the word in the wrong context. Y'all forgive me. I'm not a thesaurus.
wards. I feel like was a word in the 1800s that sounded sophisticated,
It sounds
No,
ghetto
it doesn't
to me.
now.
It just sounds ghetto to me.
Yeah.
It sounds like some kind of. It's like we're in a prison or something.
But
You know?
I feel like that in the 1800s, wars just sounded sophisticated. It was a sophisticated idea of
Don't
Houston.
sounds
It really was a sophisticated
It's
idea
tacky
of
to me.
Houston. It sounds tacky now, but it really was a sophisticated idea of what Houston was at the time.
Mhm.
And I think that now, when we call them suburbia or what have you, 100 years from now, somebody's going to go suburbia. Oh, that sounds so tacky. Ugh. Can't
Well,
believe
they
they called
may.
it. Yeah.
Hey, May, I don't
Yeah.
know. Chubb.
But Houston to me is an amalgamation of small towns, and all the neighborhoods in this city have their own unique style, their own unique culture.
That's true.
It's just so amazing. I have lived in this city
Oh,
almost.
girls, we do not work for the tourism board.
Mm-mm. But we love this city. We love this city, and someone said to me not too long ago, you know, the reason why most people don't like Houston is because they don't understand Houston. They really don't understand. They really don't understand
yeah.
Houston. Houston is an underground city. If you get to know this city,
Mm-hmm.
you get to find that every neighborhood is completely different. Every neighborhood has its own culture, its own style of doing things, even sometimes its own language. That is the most amazing thing to me about Houston, is the fact that I still discover neighborhoods in this city that still I'm astonished by. I am completely astonished by, because I've lived here most of my life, and when I see a new part of Houston, I am in complete awe of it. I'm in complete awe. So, once again, if you come to Houston and you take a look at our city and you see the outside, then this is really what you see. You see the outside of our city. You don't understand the underground culture that this city really has. We are not Austin. Good Lord. Thank God. We are not Austin. You know, as much as I love...
Oh, why are you saying such bad things about Austin?
Oh, let me tell you something about Austin.
Austin is the San Francisco of Texas. That's why it's so goddamn expensive to live out there.
Well, yeah, Austin is... yeah, and that's the problem. Austin is the San Francisco of Texas.
Exactly.
It's too expensive to live there. It used to be super hip. When we were growing up, Austin was this hippie city.
Yes, but Austin was so cool, and
Yeah.
you couldn't wait to get there. When I was 18,
Mhm.
well, when I was 14, I went there to theater arts camp,
Mm-hmm.
and oh, girl, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
And it was a place to aspire to get to.
Mhm.
It was a destination
Yeah.
to get to after I left there and go to the clubs and stuff like
Mhm.
that. Yes, Austin was grand.
Austin was a grand city.
I
But
haven't been to Austin in almost 10 years.
But Austin...
Well, I guess
I
it's been over
loved
10 years.
I loved Austin because I always felt, you know, I'm not a I'm a little bohemian.
He's gay.
I'm a little bohemian. So the idea of art and culture and everything else was Austin a long time ago.
Mhm.
But now Austin has become a big tech city now because of yes, they have become a big tech city.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter
Because of tech.
yeah, because of tech. But the problem is that Austin has also become very.
Bougie?
You know what? I like the white guy for saying that, because I can say that it's become very white. You can say that it's become very bougie. I can say the same thing about Atlanta. I feel like
Atlanta has become very black.
and they do very
And
well
bougie.
and bougie, and they deserve it because
They have.
Yes, and they deserve I've had black people go, oh, you should go to Atlanta. You'll have more opportunities. You'll have more of this, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no, you know, I've been to Atlanta. I found Atlanta to be very boring.
I've never been to Atlanta.
I've been to Atlanta
I know
several
John
times.
has a home there.
hmm
I don't think
But
he's
it
there as
just
frequently as he
seems-
used to be because
but it-
he's been married for 15 years.
But
or
oh,
20.
by the way, I failed. I have looked up the demographics of our show,
Oh.
and I realized that there are quite a few people who listen to our show in Atlanta. I had
Hello, Atlanta.
Hello, Atlanta. Thank you for
Bougie bitches.
Thank you for listening to our show.
Thank you for listening. Thank you
Mhm.
for taking time
Mhm.
out from shopping for Louis Vuitton
and living downtown,
living downtown,
and having queer eye. You bitches have queer eye.
Oh,
in
I
your
love
city.
that about you, bitches.
I know. I love that.
I love the girls of Queer Eye.
I love it. And see, here's the problem.
I can't watch an episode though without crying. Because those girls are doing it. You know what? The first Queer Eye, they said it best. The first Queer Eye was about acceptance, and the heterosexuals accepting us. Now the second Queer Eye is about celebration of the fact that we are now accepted, and we are, and I've said this to Joel a million times. Almost nobody hates gay people. Almost. They're still out there. They're few and far between. There are enough of them to make me a little nervous sometimes. But there are so few of them. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
I'll bet 20% of the population in the United States, this is my own, of course, my own statistic, hates gay people. 20%, I'll bet. And that's low. That is low.
I will go a little higher with that.
Oh, yeah?
I'll go a little higher, but not by much.
Oh, girl,
but
when
not,
the price is right.
Not by much. I will go with about 30 to 40%. And the only reason, that I will
now
go,
I'm scared to walk outside.
the only reason I will go with that is simply because that rural America still might have a problem with gay people on a certain level. I think that metropolitan America is fine.
How much rural is left, though? You know what I'm saying?
I realize that,
Because
and
the internet reaches out to everybody, and
but the internet.
you know how rare it is to have someone hate gay people on the internet.
Well, here's the thing: as much as we forget sometimes, and this is from living in a metropolitan area. We live in a large metropolitan area, and Texas has quite a few large metropolitan areas. It is still hard to, and I have talked to gay and straight people. Ooh, Lord, ooh! I burped. Sorry, it was the wine.
It happened.
It happens. It happens, girl.
It was the tannins, girl.
There are still issues in rural America on people getting the internet in those areas. There are still issues.
Well, rural America does still have issues.
Yeah, they still have issues.
That's true. My mother, well, no, that town has internet now. I don't know.
They still have issues with getting,
well.
because in order to get internet, amazingly enough.
Well, girl, I was just recently in a town where I couldn't get cell service.
Yeah, exactly. Rural America
Girl, that
still
was scary.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a home phone at the place. Somebody could have killed every damn one of us.
And nobody
could have
would have
called
ever
911.
known. No one would have ever known. But
That's the last time I'm going out there.
Rural America, and by the way, I think we talked about this a long time ago. We did talk about this a long time ago.
We talk a lot.
Even before we had the show.
That's our job.
Even before we had the show, we talked about the fact that rural America is still way behind when it comes to the ideas of what we're doing in the major cities.
We were talking about bars and like Jackson, Mississippi, and how they only have 2 bars, and Mississippi is still in the 50s.
Mississippi is still.
Shout out to Mississippi. You girls are struggling out there, and I feel you. I lived there for 5.5 years, and girls, stay away from those roadside parks. That is not a place to hang out. I know you get bored, but do what we used to do, which I implemented where I came, where I lived in the small town I lived in. Do house parties. They're so much fun, and you really don't have to do that much work. Girl, pigs in a blanket and some booze, and everybody brings their own, honey.
I will say this, as I have traveled a lot, and I have gone through certain states in the South where I would go to, when you're on the road and you stop at a rest stop, and there is a lot of underground gay activity going on.
That's so nasty.
And it's still going on, and that's the funny thing. We talked about this before. About
people still tricking rest areas.
Yeah.
Yes.
We talked about this before about how bookstores are look, if you're still going to a bookstore, you're not going to get anything else but sex.
There's something special wrong with you.
You are just going there to get sex. You are
and
not.
they don't exist anymore anyway, except for off 545.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying there's something wrong with you if
Mhm.
you're going to have sex, because that's perfectly normal.
Mhm.
But if you're going in there to look at videos and buy magazines, you are a special kind of pervert.
There is still an
I don't mean no harm. but
There's still an underground.
Damn, Gina.
There's still an underground element when it comes to smaller towns, when it comes to states that aren't as gay friendly. Mississippi and Alabama being, Mississippi and Alabama.
I
are
can't
not
say anything
super
about
gay.
Alabama. I've only traveled through, but I can assume that they're probably on the same page as Mississippi.
Mhm.
They made a documentary about Mississippi.
Mhm.
They didn't make a documentary about Alabama.
Mhm.
But I'm sure that they're documentary worthy.
Mhm. When I cannot remember the name of the Roy Wood was running for Congress in, I think it was Alabama.
Is he a gay?
No, he is not a gay. In fact, he is
Oh.
he is the biggest anti-gay
Anti-gay.
ever,
Anti-gay.
and didn't win that seat because.
Wait a minute. Is he the one that everybody hated?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yes.
And
Oh,
it turns out he was a dirty pervert.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Dirty bird.
Remember the conversation?
14-year-old
Oh, I'm
girl.
sorry. Remember the conversation we had about him going to the YWCA kick when the YWCA is kicking you out?
I
bitch.
remember that.
Yes.
You are fucked up.
You are fucked up when the YWCA is kicking you up.
YWCA.
Yeah, exactly.
YWCA.
He lost his seat because black women voted for the Democrat. And black women went out in full force and voted for the Democrat. That's how he lost that seat.
Well, I don't mean no harm.
Mm-hmm.
But don't black women always vote for the Democrat?
Now, black women, by the way,
Just-
will vote for their best interest. If their best interest means that they
See?
need to get what they need to get.
Listen, you people are pigeonholing my comedy behind all this trolling and ruining people's lives. 'Cause I almost said something, but I knew better, because if I did, I might get fucked up behind it. So
Okay, you know what? If
I can't help it. I gotta keep quiet.
don't worry,
I have the jokes if you'll let me tell them.
don't worry, trolls. I got this. The fact of the matter is that most of our language, most of our thing, and we talked about this, and we talked about this before. In fact, we talked about this on the last episode. We get this from black women. The whole, you go girl, all this other stuff.
Didn't that come from Martin?
That came,
The TV show
Yeah.
Martin back in the
which he
80s.
still stole from black women.
Well, of course he did.
Of course he did. That's
I hate it when my mother says, "You go, girl," at the grocery store, or when she says, "Hey, girl, how's your day?" I'm just kicking that old woman, mother. Don't do that. I love my mother, but girl, don't do that.
It's called ghetto language,
She's trying to be cool, though.
And-
Mother's trying to be cool.
and it's okay.
And she doesn't understand it. It just sounds stupid.
It just simply means that we are trying to come together. We are honestly trying to come together. We
Come
seriously
together
are. When we
right
are,
now.
we have talked about this before. But the thing is that when we take language from other groups of people in this country and we accept it as our own,
That's making it part of the
it's making
vernacular.
it the American vernacular.
The American vernacular
It
is
making
good.
it's a good thing.
We're
It
crossing
really is.
roads. so
We're
to
crossing
speak.
roads, and it's starting to open up conversations, and it's really starting to get people to understand.
But y'all really listen, everybody, because everybody does it. It's not just black folks. It's white folks. It's green folks. It's gray folks.
it's
blue
gay folks. It's black.
gay folks. Stop saying it instead of there. I'm begging you. It's a pet peeve of mine, and it's driving me insane. The word is, there are, there was, not it, motherfucking it.
So when
Stop
you-
saying it for every goddamn thing on the planet.
So when you say there, which there are you using?
Every there.
Are you using the T?
I'm saying
Are you
I'm always using there. I'm saying
Are you using
that
the
other
possessive?
people,
Or are you using the?
all of them. Anytime there's a there in
Are
a
you
word,
using them correctly? When you
it's
say
not
there,
me that's not you. Now, see, how are you turning this shit around on me when I'm not the one who's grammatically incorrect? Somebody who uses it instead of there is grammatically incorrect, and it's getting on my damn nerves because it's not just anybody; it's everybody. Even on the news, the weatherman the other day said, and I quote, "It's going to be some stormy weather out there come tomorrow." Really? Because you know that's not grammatically correct.
actually, that is grammatically
It's going to be some stormy weather is not grammatically correct.
correct. What is
First
the
of all,
grammatically correct term for that?
There is going to be stormy weather tomorrow. How hard is that to say? Don't mess with me on this point. I'm telling you, you're wrong. And Joel says, well, that's just the common vernacular now. No, it is grammatically incorrect, and it's annoying me.
This is the problem with generational.
No. These are people my age who are saying it.
And
so apparently,
which means that they are now taking on the vernacular
it's pervasive, apparently, and it's
it is
annoying
now
me.
taking on its. Now it's.
No.
It is now taking on the vernacular of the younger group of people who are coming
That
up.
was proper grammar.
They are. There.
Well, you're not going to say it are, although it's coming.
No, there's no it are.
Oh, it's coming.
Are you saying it's
I'm
coming?
saying it's coming. And listen, y'all need to stop. I'm telling you, it's all I can do not to jump off the balcony
But this
off
is
my second floor apartment.
this is
All I would do is break a leg. Do y'all want me to break a leg? Please stop saying it's for there.
this is freedom of language.
Oh, Lord, help
this
me.
is freedom of
You
language.
have got to be on my side. You are educated, and you.
I am.
You are on my side. You're just taking their side because it's popular.
Are we talking about they are? Or
I'm talking
they're?
about, bitch. Don't test me.
Are we talking about they are?
Don't
or they're?
test me. I'm
But
feeling
the fact
violent
that-
today.
The fact of the matter is that once again, this goes back to the whole generational gap of
Bitch,
how
if you
we
don't stop saying generational gap. Stop reminding
of how we see everything in the world, including language, and language always starts the conversation.
me. No, you cannot.
Because our language has changed.
You
Our
cannot
language.
You cannot deny proper grammar. Proper
Mhm.
grammar should always win, Joel. And I'm telling English teachers, if you are within the sound of my voice, tweet Joel about this bullshit and
English
tell us
teachers,
how frustrated you are
English teachers who are
with
also
with the breakdown of the English language behind ignorant ass people.
English teachers who are also
Please.
in the sound of my voice, then you will
They're not
take
listening to you.
you will take what language has
Are you
happened
saying that you can just say whatever the hell you want to?
over hundreds of years and make it
Oh, he's just saying,
Make
okay,
it
it's just a big old
proper
free-for-all.
English. You will be able to do so
Just
because
a big old free
and I will tell you
just
that
say
grammar-
whatever you want to, and if nobody understands you, and if it's not proper grammar, who the hell cares? You just say whatever you want to, girl. Just let it flow. Just let your freak motherfucking fly with the English language.
because you're stuck.
You're wrong.
You
I'm
are
not stuck.
stuck.
I'm stuck in
You're
proper
s-
grammar.
You are stuck in an idea of
Oh my gosh. No, it is proper grammar.
proper grammar. Proper grammar is the idea of a small group of people who are enforcing rules that are not for the large
Are you
population.
serious?
Yes.
Well, you
Yes.
ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I
Educated
am
person.
not,
You
and
should be.
and as an educated person, I understand the flow and love
The
of what
hustle and
language
flow.
of what language can be and what language will be.
Can be. This is not evolution.
Mhm.
This is devolving.
Every-
We're not evolving.
everything-
We're devolving. Don't devolve and then
everything-
say it's a good thing. That's insane.
But living,
No.
But living life in a
We're
tradition
just-
of following old rules
We're
does not
just
work
this
in
side
a
of
modern
Bedlam.
society. It does
We're
not.
just this side of Bedlam with our the way
It
we
does
speak
not
in this
work.
country today.
Let me ask you a question. Where did the word mean come from?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Where did the word
That's a new word
or
based
the word
on technology.
or the word social media or
technology.
exactly
However,
because
you
technology
cannot
has an
justify
influence.
it for there by any of this.
It has
this
an
argument has
influence
nothing to do
on
with it for
what
there.
language is and what
Joel
language because language
Tatum,
evolves
this argument
and
has
changes.
nothing to do with it
It
for there.
evolves
Stop
and
saying it
changes.
for there, people. I'm telling you, I've had it. It's the last straw. And Joel's just defending you to piss me off. You get my pressure up, girl. Don't get my pressure up. I take pills for that shit. And you know how tiny that pill is? And I can only take 2 a day. And my next pill appointment is 4 o'clock in the morning. So I can't have all this pressure.
Okay.
We better let it go. So
We
I can
better let it
breathe.
go, kids. He needs to breathe.
It's time to go.
It is time to go. And this
Shit, did we run over?
we ran over. Bitch,
Oh,
we always
shit.
run over.
Ah, sure.
Bitch, we
Well, I
always
hope we
run
didn't run
over.
over anybody. And I hope I didn't offend anybody, but I'm getting tired of you bitches. You're editing me in my brain and stopping me from being who I am as a person who's funny. Y'all are taking my funny away. I want y'all to really think about that.
And by the way, his funny is actually evolving more than he realizes. So we will leave this show on a note by saying that once again we love all of y'all.
We do love all of y'all.
We do love all of you.
Every damn one of you.
Every damn one of you.
Look in the mirror, bitch.
Look in the mirror.
I love you.
It starts with the man in the mirror, and that's all.
Joe Jackson has passed away.
Joe Jackson has passed away, but we
And for
can't.
all the bad he did, we don't know nothing about the good necessarily because they only talk about the bad in the media any damn way. I'm sure he did some good in his life. And so we need to focus on the good as we send him to heaven and say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye.